My marriage.
Okay, it's more fun. It's amusant if you have food. Funny, say, rigolo.
Food. The food is ça ramuse les gens.
And even better,
Alcohol.
if you want to break the ice,
You miss a C. Alcohol.
so that
There is
certainly
tobacco
can have
dans
a
la
big
salle.
impact as well.
There's
Yeah?
people smoking.
An icebreaker.
Oh, yes.
But no, you're
And cups
absolutely
are
right. Providing food gives people something to talk about.
want
That
food?
looks nice. Yeah, absolutely. So if you're organising an event, if you can budget for a buffet, it can make it much more a convivial event. Yeah, people talk together. Good. Julie.
I wanted to say the same thing as Jeff.
The same thing as Jack. Good. Okay. Yeah. All right.
If you are in the buffet, I think it's good for talk with each other because there are tables with food and a lot of fun drinks in the table. And go to the
A
table.
lot of
People
yeah.
go to the table, and this is a context of
Yeah.
meeting each other and not stay with a friend he know at the party, for example.
Well, we also assume that people don't know each other in terms of the question, so that isn't an option. But yeah, I absolutely agree. Food is very, very important. It brings people together, gives them something to talk about, gives the subject of the conversation. It provides its own topic of conversation. Okay? Good. Okay. Other factors. Other factors. A classic one has to be shared interest. Now, I'm a fan of motor racing. I like in sport de voiture. So I go to the circuit pour a car when there's something on. Yeah? If something happens on the circuit, it's very easy for me to turn to the person sitting next to me, even if it's a complete stranger, and say something about what happened. We're both there for the same reason. We can assume we share an interest, etc. Same thing if I'm at a concert. Yeah? So in those situations, it's easier to talk to someone. Yeah. Shared interest is another factor which is important. Any other thoughts?
But sir, to share interest, you have to introduce a topic of conversation.
Well, it might depend on the place where you are. That's why I used the example of a concert.
Okay.
We've all chosen to go together to see the same music group perform, yeah? Or a sporting event.
Yes, but in that case, we can really talk about shared interests because it isn't. There's no specification in the question about any specific interest, or if it is during a concert or something like that. So we can't really include shared interests for this question.
Okay, I would say we can, but if you want to say we can't, that's fine, yeah? I'll argue with you. But yeah, I think we can. A room with a group of people who don't know each other, that could be actually the audience at a concert.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Ça a été mangé. Par qui? Genre du coup, c'était intéressant. Ça me ferait un peu carré de l'autre côté.
Yeah, absolutely.
Avec ça.
Yeah. So, yeah, we could go with the idea of situation.
Un crocodile.
Also linked to play.
Allez, j'ai fait ça.
Yeah. Now, these are both very, very wide and very generic, but it's recognised that if it's a dark room, people are less likely to interact.
Yes.
If it's a light room with windows, people are more likely to interact. Yeah? So things like that are that's very, very generic, but there's also a sense of place and situation. You can be in a situation with a number of people you don't know.
Yes. What? What? Yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Sorry.
Chat.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Well, I was trying to get to the end of the phrase.
Oh, okay.
I had to stop halfway through because there was a certain amount of noise. Okay, a doctor's waiting room. Are you likely to engage in conversation in a doctor's waiting room?
No.
Definitely no.
People are sick. I don't touch people who are sick.
Yeah. So there are certain situations, but also
Let people be sick
in
in peace.
a professional situation.
In peace.
In a professional situation, you may not really have the choice.
You never stop.
If you arrive with a group of stagiaires in a maison d'édition, and you are welcomed by one of the people who works for the maison d'édition, you will logically wait for that person to say something. If in a few years' time you are the person welcoming stagiaire too, you do not really have the option of waiting for someone to say something. Yeah, so the situation itself can define what you have to do. Now that can be challenging for someone who would generally wait for someone to say something